Our Egyptian adventure continues in Luxor.
We're Adam and Abby. Together, we are Travel with a Team. At the end of 2020, we quit our jobs to travel full time. We started in Hawaii, explored the Great West in an RV, and took on Alaska, the last frontier. Subscribe to our channel to follow our adventures around the world.
We are going on the Nile River. We were supposed to be in a felucca, but there's no wind, so it's going to be a motorboat. But that's okay. We are going to cruise down the Nile in a boat, have a romantic, candlelit dinner, and embrace the calm that is this awesome city. We are on our boat, ready to sail down the Nile to the farm where we will have a romantic dinner. We are on top of the boat. I feel so much less stressed than in Cairo. Cairo is just like energy and people and cars. It's wild. And here, there's definitely still people. There's there's stuff going on, but it's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it already.
This is really neat. We have this whole private experience on this lovely farm. It is getting dark and we do not have a camera light because they broke.
This evening was interesting and cool. It was really excellent. Welcome into Luxor, and we have more adventures to come. Tomorrow we explore the West Bank. See you then.
It is a lovely morning here in Luxor. Today, we are headed back to the West Bank of Luxor, where we are going to explore all of the sites and attractions, and we are going to be joined by an Egyptologist to help interpret and explain all the cool things that we're going to see. Time to check out our first temple. Temple of Ramses III, who is the last major pharaoh before Egypt began declining in ancient history. This temple is truly magnificent, and what's crazy is it's 3,500 years old. Time to move on to our next stop.
We are now at the Noble Tombs. We're going to see two tombs under what used to be a village of pure Egyptian people. 2010, the government finally forced them to move so that they could dig out all of these tombs. It's a whole political thing, but it's really cool that we could get to go see some pretty intact tombs.
This is a nobleman's tomb. It is beautiful. It is barely untouched. And wow, this is original nothing is touched up. It's exactly how it was 3,500 years ago.
We are at Hatshepsut Temple, Hatshepsut was the only woman who was pharaoh. She was king for 20 years, which is unheard of to have a female king. It's a really cool story, and her temple is awesome. It's one of only 2 that are carved into the mountain, and we're actually going to go to the other one later in our Egypt trip. It's beautiful. So, awkward family dynamic. Stepson of Lady Pharaoh, badass woman, erased her from like everything because he was technically supposed to be Pharaoh, I guess. But then, I don't know, there's a whole thing. He was young, and then she took over, and they really liked her, so she got to be Pharaoh for 20 years, and he was pissed. So, he came in to her temple. This is a death temple, by the way. And erased all of her. Erased her cartouche, her signature, completely gone. Just kind of sad. And also a little douchey on her stepson's part. We are at the Valley of the Kings, the big kahuna. What everybody wants to see. Not allowed to bring a camera, so we are iPhoning it. We are at our first tomb out of 3. This is Ramses the 9th, and he ruled for 20 years. And you would think that he would have a beautiful finished temple. Not the case. His workers went on strike and punished him by not finishing his temple because he didn't pay them. So the strike is as old as the Egyptians.
Tomb number 1. It is cool. It's very colorful.
Indeed, and it's different from the tombs of the nobles we were at earlier because it only depicts religious scenes. It does not depict daily life like tombs we were in earlier today.
Yeah.
This tomb goes down. It's super cute. Alright, on to our third and final tomb.
We're now entering the tomb of Ramses III, which was actually the temple that we were at earlier.
Good snakes.
We've gone into our third tomb. You get 3 tombs with the ticket, so it's unbelievable. So the Valley of the Kings is one of the must-see attractions when you're coming to Luxor. This experience has been super fun today. We have one more stop, I believe, but it's important to note that we've had an Egyptologist with us all day long, which is super helpful. It's important to take in all of this crazy history because without the guide, we would have no idea what we're looking at. This is the mortuary temple of one of the many kings that we have run across today. This one's super cool. These statues are massive, and most of this was actually completely destroyed in a flood. This is our last stop of the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can continue onwards with us as we explore more of Luxor and begin our journey down the Nile.